Yes, I'm here.
Trammell, yes.
Bagby, yes.
Teresa Abe here.
Well, I'm here, Kimberly Cobb, but city attorney.
All right, I will look for an agenda approval, if I can get that motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. No, no. Okay. All right, we at this point can have public comments. If anyone in the public would like to come up and say anything, we have a large audience, I see.
I dare you. I will. I dare you. It's your time. You got 3 minutes.
Hello, my name is Bobby Wagner. I live at 422 Anderson Drive in Destin, Florida. I would just like to make sure that there's emphasis on workforce housing in the CRA districts as we expand the commerce, that we also make sure that there's a place for the workers to live. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate all that you do for our city.
Thank you, Mayor. All right, we'll move on to new business. Larry, City Manager, if I could get you to go over the Draft Harbor CRA Master Plan.
I'll take that one.
Thanks, Steve. Go
Absolutely. So you have before you the Draft Harbor CRA Master Plan. This is the culmination of efforts between the consultant 3TP staff and the Harbor CRA Advisory Committee. Really, what you have before you is a very much improved master plan from what we currently have. And completely reworked to really bring it up to current regulations, current standards, and just to give us a better picture of what is currently going on in the Harbor CRA district. It was also presented to the CRA advisory committees in conjunction with the mobility plan, because a lot of the projects that are part of the mobility plan also fall within the Harbor CRA. You'll find that with the Town Center CRA as well. So there's a lot of crossover with that. So if there are any questions on this and or the Town Center CRA, staff will be here to answer those.
Does anyone up here have questions? All right, Ms. Trammell, go ahead. Turn on your mic. Turn your mic on.
Can we go ahead and make one motion to accept both?
Sure.
Okay, then
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion that we accept the Harbor and the Town Center Master Plan.
All right, I'll accept that. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, with the second, do we have some discussion? Go ahead, Jim.
So, before we go final with this, can we update, the members of the council and the members of the CRAs and all that other stuff, that's my first question, I guess.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part of the question.
Okay, so
Update you all.
go to the Draft Harbor CRA board and just go to page 2. Okay? I think it's page 2. Okay, so you still got Lewis, you still got John Stevens, you still got Johnny King.
We absolutely can.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Want to give the right people the credit where it's due. Talk to me about the first finding of necessity, predominance of defective or inadequate street layout. But then you go on, you're talking about internal connections. That's not the street layout, that's the lack of it. And I understand internal connections. You want people to basically not have to get out on Highway 98, as an example, and be able to go down most of the harbor area. Okay, but that's not a street layout, that's internal connections. So could we just, I guess, re-describe that finding?
So these are the original findings from the establishment of the
About
CRA.
25 years ago, okay.
Yep, yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, if we wanted to redo those, we'd have to redo the agreement, the CRA agreement, to change the findings.
You wanted to redo what?
The findings for the establishment of the CRA? Because we didn't change those. So the findings to establish the CRA originally, to change those, wouldn't we have to change the agreement or update the agreement with the county?
What is your goal?
But
What
you're
are you
looking
trying
to
do?
change the names in the
I'm-
staff
Not have
members.
to change, we don't have to go back to change names, but was there more to it?
No, I actually want to change the agreement.
The whole agreement?
Yeah, where we gave up 50% of our revenue to the county, which we never
Yes,
should
we
have
will
done.
have to renegotiate.
Yes.
So I'm just asking, as an example, if we change the initial findings of what was wrong with the CRA, would that reopen the agreement with the county on the CRA?
When you're talking about the initial findings, do you mean the findings of blight and all of the things that established?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think that alone would open it up to the county. Is that your intent? To open it up? You would like to open it up? It would be a best practice to open it up with the county.
And I would probably defer till Mr. Destin was here, because he was here when these original findings, I don't believe Sandy was. Were you on?
Here, but not sitting up.
No, I didn't sitting up, yeah, I was here, but I wasn't sitting up here. Where we gave away the farm to the county, which has always been, one of the things that I didn't vote on it, but I fought against it and I lost, and, because the county made the council at that time believe that if they didn't, they wouldn't approve it, and they wouldn't, get on board, and they would fight it in the court or whatever. And so, as we usually do, we caved like a cheap suit. So I've always looked for, I don't care, I'm term limited, so I've always looked for a way to reopen that. I'm just asking if that is a legitimate way. I don't want to, get slapped down and get a summary judgment if it's a waste of everybody's time, I guess. Does that make sense?
It does. I'm not sure looking at the creation of the CRA would open up negotiations to the agreement, honestly. But let me look at it with that question in mind and come up with some options for you if that is your goal. Okay.
So we can postpone this instead of approving it, because we're not looking to approve this if he's having it reopened, correct? So at this point, we're going to hold this to like our next CRA meeting so we can look and find out what we can do to renegotiate where we're currently at so that we can pull back some of what we gave away, correct?
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to set a time frame to discuss, a time frame for when our next CRA meeting will be for this?
When is our next CRA? Can we make it like the first one in May?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking if you'd like to.
I think we should make it the first meeting in May. That'll give some time to get it together. And then we have our CRA meeting in May, and we can bring these back up and discuss what we as a CRA council want to do.
Yeah, I think there's,
Are you worried about the advisory meetings? I'm just going to give them some legal options.
okay, yeah. Oh, we'll do whatever needs to be done.
Yeah, so depending on what you do, we may need to go back to advisory boards if you're making changes. But what I'm talking about for May is we'll just talk about options for how to open up the agreement with the county and achieve some of the goals that that Councilmember Bagby has mentioned.
I think that's something should we vote on this, or can we just say that we want to bring this back up the first week in May?
I'd rather you voted, for the record.
Can I get a motion to postpone this till
I'll
May?
make a motion to postpone till the first meeting in May.
Second?
I'm not going to second it because I wanted to speak before you made that motion. But anyway, I will tell you that when you look at your agenda, the proposed legislation ends all CRAs July 1. So I think we need to do something one way or the other, and maybe we need to discuss that before we make the motion to come back in May. That's all I'm saying. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no. I will ask our resident Florida League of Cities expert, who's sitting here as a member of the public, I assume the Florida League of Cities is fighting hard against,
Or the city manager.
or the city manager, one of these two, fighting against, but knows what the Florida League of Cities is doing to make sure that CRAs, which are instrumental in helping communities redevelop, what they're doing other than going over and having parties in Tallahassee.
For the past 60 days, I've been working my real job. I'm sorry, I don't have an update.
I don't have anything from Florida League of Cities. We can find out. Yeah, and that was kind of the reason it's here tonight, is for council direction for me to direct Kelly Beth to take a city position to our legislative delegation and those that she has influence over. But the crux of the bill says that all CRAs will sunset at their termination date if that is sooner than 2045, and they will all sunset in 2045. It prohibits any bonding or financing activity after July 1. So going forward, it's going to be a pay-as-you-go basis. And our two CRAs, I think they both will expire before 2045. So when they're up, they're up. And I know Crystal's done some following on it as well. She may have something to add to that. I think, the biggest thing is going to be a pay-as-you-go cash basis until there is no more money.
So my question would be twofold. Ours will expire before then, and we might as well get as much money out of it, particularly in the harbor. We're getting the full, my understanding is we get the full amount in the town center. Is that correct, Crystal? That we're due by law?
That's correct. We're getting the full amount in the town center. The harbor, it's a match. So
Yeah.
they put in exactly what the city puts in. As you know, our millage rate is 1.61, theirs is 3.8. So that difference between the 3.8 and the 1.61 is what the county is keeping.
Yeah, and that would, in this example, be
I'm-
$3.8 million more that we would be getting to help redevelop that area and do things like the little taking people around on golf carts in the harbor area or whatever the mayor wants to do with that mobility plan. But no, I'm just saying that would be money that we could use. So the other thing, one of y'all or both of y'all will know, or Kim will know, can we set in lieu of, and I haven't read the legislation because I just didn't think it was going to pass, but maybe I should get more interested. Can we set up a special taxing district like a municipal services or a municipal benefit unit that just dude, I'm just, you got to think outside the box to get revenue sources that just happens to overlay a similar piece of terrain in this city?
Yes. MSTU or other type of taxing district for a geographical area of the city. For assessments, potentially. He was just saying, is it possible?
Okay, so where would the tax money come from? The same general tax, or would we additionally tax just for the city?
Additional.
It would be additional if you did it.
Just on those, but it would only be able to be spent on them in that area.
And there are two versions of that. The MSTU is ad valorem based. MSBU is the benefit. So if you get twice as much benefit as Mr. Bagby, you pay twice as much as he does. That takes a pretty extensive study that Crystal's former organization does on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's a lot. I just don't know if I want to tax our citizens any bigger than they are already getting taxed.
Any more discussion on this?
No, I can second his motion.
All right, did you want to redo your motion for Ray?
The one for
Madam Chair.
accepting the master plans.
Madam Chair, can I ask for some direction from council as far as engaging the lobbyists to take a position on this?
Yes, I think that we all would like for her to help us get a position.
Okay. Just want to make sure we're clear.
Yep.
I will convey that.
And Madam Chair,
Well,
may I?
I think we probably need to vote on that, just to make sure. It's,
Either way.
Let's do this motion first. and then we'll
okay.
do one on you.
Which one are we doing?
To accept the plans. Bring them back in May.
Bring them back,
Hold on, Steve, go ahead, Steve, what's the question?
If the intent is just to do the harbor, would the board be willing to move forward with the town center with a separate motion?
sure.
And then just doing the harbor at a later date, if amenable. Either way is good with staff. Okay.
I think that works. So then change what you're.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we accept the town center plan, master plan, as
Thank you.
presented.
Second.
All right. Take a vote for that, Rodney?
Yes.
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 Yes. Now the second
Okay,
motion.
I'll make a motion that we direct staff to bring back the harbor plan at the first meeting in May, after the city attorney does some research on that plan and the potential of reopening that plan with the county.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that. I just had a question for Jim. Did you want it to go back through the Harbor CRA committee before it came to us?
No, because we're not changing their. No, we're not changing their plan. I'm okay with the plan. I've just never been happy with the funding.
Okay,
So-
all right, that's fine.
So if it comes back, if Kim comes back the first meeting in May and says, no, nice try, okay, let's just accept the plan and move on.
So you're seconded on that, Sandy? All right, with that, we'll call for a vote.
Yes.
Trammell, yes.
Bagby, yes.
Abear, yes.
Okay, I will make a motion that we direct the city manager to direct our lobbyist.
We might do that one at the council meeting,
Okay,
okay?
Not the CRA meeting? Okay, we'll hold off that. All right. Now let's go ahead and move to C, the fiscal 2024 annual audit and financial statements. I think that's your area. Is that correct, Crystal?
That's correct. So these are the same financial statements that were presented to council, that were accepted by council at the March 7th meeting. So now it's time for now they're before the CRA board for the CRA to accept their financial statements.
I'll move that we accept the financial statements.
All right, with that, we'll go for the vote. Rodney?
yes.
Trammell, yes.
Yes.
Yes. All right, and final option here is proposed legislation, HB 991/SB 1242 CRAs. Is that for you to help?
It's the one we just spoke about. No, it's not, so you'll need to add it at the beginning of the regular agenda meeting.
Made a note to remind you already.
Well, or the chairman can bring it up for that. If we vote on it here, then the chairman brings it up at the council meeting. So, it's up to you.
Okay, so we'll bring that up at the council meeting. D? All right, with that, we have public comments. If there's anyone in the audience that has anything they'd like to get up and say before we close this meeting. Looking all to the, nobody here. All right, with that. All right, with that, we will adjourn this meeting at 5:48 p.m., 17 March.